The Kansas City T-Bones proudly present T-Bones Baseball on the Air. Members of the American Association of Independent Professional Baseball Clubs and home of fun well done. The T-Bones Broadcast Network is brought to you by Community America Credit Union, Austin's Trailers and Motorsports, Budweiser, Coca-Cola, Price Chopper, Providence Medical Center, the Kansas Lottery, FlyKCI.com, Roma Bakery, Sheet Metal Local Number 2, and Kissick Construction. Now let's head out to the ballpark for the starting lineups and the first pitch with the voice of the T-Bones, Nathan Moore. Welcome to Community America Ballpark as we get set for Game 2 between Kansas City and Sioux City. Matt Folks here along with you from Community America Ballpark on a gorgeous Friday night. I apologize. Nathan Moore will not be with us tonight, but we hope to have a great game similar to last night. Kansas City winning it by a final of 4-3 over Sioux City. T-Bones coming in here tonight now 21-26 overall on the season. Sioux City 22-25. Kansas City now one game behind Sioux City in the Central Division standings. We'll talk about those a little bit later on. Jared Messer will be on the hill tonight for Kansas City. Coming in tonight, Messer is 2-0 on the season, 3.02 ERA, and he'll be facing an Explorers offense that has struggled a little bit lately. Last night they were able to put 3 runs on the board. They were able to get 8 hits, but it was not the offensive showing that Sioux City had just a few nights ago when they put 21 runs up against Winnipeg. Here are your lineups for tonight's game. First for the visiting Explorers, leading off with the designated hitter, Derek Robinson. Batting second in center field, Matty Johnson. Batting third, the shortstop, Nate Sampson. Jarek Cunningham will be playing second base and batting fourth. Batting fifth and playing third base, Tommy Mendonça. Batting sixth in right field, Ralph Enriquez. Batting seventh will be the left fielder, Tim Caldwell. Matt Coach behind the plate again, he's batting eighth. And Brendan Slattery, will be the first baseman, batting ninth. So again, it's Robinson, Johnson, Sampson, Cunningham, Mendonça, Enriquez, Caldwell, Coach, and Slattery for Sioux City. On the other side for Kansas City, batting first will be the left fielder, Starlin Rodriguez. And really, this is the same lineup that we saw last night for the T-Bones in that 4-3 win. Starlin Rodriguez in left, batting first. Tyler Massey will be your center fielder, batting second. Batting third at first base will be Jake Blackwood. Anthony Gauss will be your DH, batting fourth. Batting fifth will be the third baseman, Jimmy Mojica. Batting sixth at second base, Brett Wiley. Batting seventh will be the right fielder, Dalton Wheat. Vladimir Frias is batting eighth again tonight. He's at shortstop. And batting ninth will be the catcher, Brian Airy. So again for Kansas City, Rodriguez, Massey, Blackwood, Gallus, Mojica, Wiley, Wheat, Frias, and Erie with Jared Messer on the hill. Brian Escanino will be going for the Explorers. He's coming in here 2-1 overall with a 6.63 ERA. So it's kind of an interesting situation now with these two teams playing tonight and again tomorrow night, with Kansas City being one game behind Sioux City. If Kansas City sweeps this series, the T-Bones will be one game ahead of Sioux City. Kansas City, however, if they win this series but they don't sweep it, in other words, they win tonight or tomorrow, and they don't sweep the series, they will still end up one game behind the Explorers, which is kind of a good-bad when you're facing a team right above you in the standings. We're going to take a 2-minute break for our national anthem. When we come back, we'll have the first pitch for you as Kansas City and Sioux City get set for Game 2 of this 3-game series here from Community America Ballpark. We're back in 2 minutes on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Welcome back to Community America Ballpark as we get set for the second game of this three-game series with Kansas City and Sioux City. Matt Folks here along with you here tonight as Jared Messer gets set to take the hill for the T-Bones. Kansas City decked out in their white uniforms tonight, trimmed in gold and oxblood. As the first pitch misses to Derek Robinson. This one's fouled back and out of play. It's 1-1 to Robinson, a .314 hitter with one home run, 11 RBIs on the season. So Jared Messer making his 13th appearance, 5th start here on this season for Kansas City. As this one's on the outside part of the plate for a called strike. Coming in here with a 2-0 record, 3.03 ERAs, pitched in 38 and 2/3 innings, given up 32 hits. 15 runs, 13 of those been earned. Here's the 1-2. It's a little bit low. Messer has walked 17, struck out 17, given up 2 home runs, 4 doubles, and 2 triples. As this one is a line drive toward Wiley, and the second baseman will jump up, a little bunny hop, and make the play for out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down here in the first inning. Brings up the center fielder, Matty Johnson. Messer has faced 165 batters here on the season. They're hitting .222 against him. Your umpires tonight, Matt Herrera behind the plate, Mike Jarbeau at first, Trent Delmont at third. First pitch in there for a strike to Matty Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see tonight with Matt Herrera as this one's on the ground toward Frias at short. Scoops it up, throws the first in time for out number 2. John Mazzarelli, manager for Kansas City, ejected last night by Matt Herrera, who's behind the plate. We'll talk about that as we move forward. As the first pitch to Sampson is high and away. 2 outs just underway here at Community America Ballpark. As the next pitch off speed is in there for a strike. As this one's down low. So David Holman started last night for Kansas City. Went 5 innings. He was replaced in the 6th inning by Evan DeLuca. In that 6th inning, as this pitch is grounded back up the middle, Wiley will get it behind the bag, throws to first. Not in time. And safe at first, beating out the infield single will be Nate Sampson. A close play at first base. Nice effort by Brett Wiley, and watching the replay, pretty close. I'm not sure if New York would overturn that one or not. So it brings up Jarek Cunningham now. Cunningham batting .271. This is a Sioux City team that likes to run. As I say, Cunningham went around on the first pitch. And the guy at first, Nate Sampson, likes to run more than anyone. Big swing and a miss. Messer finds himself ahead in the count 0-2. Sampson with 16 stolen bases on the year. That leads Sioux City, a team that has 74 on the year. As the next pitch is down low. Sampson, 16 stolen bases, 16 attempts. It's a little bit bigger lead at first. Messer goes over there, but diving back safely is Sampson. 2 outs, top of the first inning. Count 1-2 to Jarek Cunningham. Cunningham in on the right side of the plate. Messer kicks and delivers, and it's high and inside. So in DeLuca's first inning of work last night, it was kind of a weird play. The batter ends up at third base, hits a fly ball as this one goes out of play. He had a fly ball to left that Starlin Rodriguez lost in the night sky, and we'll see that night sky here in about an hour and a half. As the 2-2 pitch is fouled back to the screen. He lost it. There was a close play at third base on the play. The third base umpire last night, Mike Jarbeau, was out seeing if a catch was going to be made or not. So Matt Herrera, who's behind the plate tonight, was at first base last night. This one's on the ground to Frias. We'll have to get back to this story as Frias will flip to Wiley at second for a 6-4 putout, ending the inning. Here in the first for the Explorers, they'll get a runner on with a single, but cannot do anything past that. We've played half an inning. It's Sioux City nothing, Kansas City coming up. Back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
We go to the bottom of the first inning. Scoreless here at Community American Ballpark as Sioux City able to get a base hit with 2 outs, but Nate Sampson will be forced out at second, ending the top half of this inning. So Brian Escanio will be the pitcher here tonight for the Explorers. Escanio 2-1 this season, 6.63 ERA. First 3 T-Bones hitters will be facing will be Starlin Rodriguez, Tyler Massey, and Jake Blackwood. So going back to that story, just to wrap things up from last night, on that play at third base, a very close play. Replay, it looked like the runner was likely out. He was called safe, though. Matt Herrera, who's behind the plate tonight, was the first base umpire. He went over to make the call, which is what he's supposed to do, but he got caught in the grass and the dirt and fell as the play was happening at third base. He ended up calling the runner safe. John Mazzarelli, not happy about the call, went out to argue it, was trying to get Matt Herrera to get a second opinion of that of Trent Delmont, the home plate umpire. Herrera would not do it. So that argument's over with. DeLuca ends up getting out of that inning, but during that inning, on a check swing, looked like the batter had gone around. Matt Herrera, over at first base now, says the batter did not go around. And then that's when it all broke loose, and Maz ended up getting tossed. So Matt Herrera behind the plate tonight. First pitch to Starlin Rodriguez is in there for a strike. Escanio this year has started 3 games for the Explorers. 19 innings overall, 19 hits given up. 14 runs, all 14 have been earned. He has walked 7, struck out 9. Here's the windup and the 1-1 pitch. Lifted deep into left field, toward the bullpen. The left fielder Caldwell goes back, and this one's off the top of the wall. How that one did not get out, I will never know. It hits the top of the wall, and Starlin Rodriguez will lead things off with a double here in the first inning. Just missed by inches by Starlin Rodriguez, who instead will end up at second base with a leadoff double for Rodriguez. That is double number 5 on the season. That gives Kansas City a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Tyler Massey will have the first crack at knocking Rodriguez in. The first pitch will be outside from Escanio. Tyler Massey went 1 for 5 last night, now batting .293 on the year. 5 home runs, 20 driven in. The center fielder from Chattanooga, Tennessee, digs in on the left side of the plate. The next pitch is fouled off his foot. One issue that we have seen when Kansas City has gone through a couple dry spells this year, including the Fargo series a couple weeks ago, as this pitch misses along the way. It's just the inability to get that timely hit. But really, with the way this team has been playing in the last 3 or 4 series, ever since the Fargo series, Kansas City has won its last 3 series since then, but they've been getting those timely hits. A chance now, a big chance now, here in the first inning to jump on Escanio. Escanio, the right-hander, gives a long look in. Now comes set at the belt. The 3-1 to Massey is outside. So the first 2 are aboard for Kansas City here in the bottom half of the first inning. Escanio, a 6'1", 220-pound right-hander out of Puerto Rico. That'll bring up Jake Blackwood with runners at first and second and nobody out here in the first. Jake batting .267, walked a couple times last night. Otherwise, went 0 for 2. He did score one of Kansas City's 4 runs. First offering to Blackwood, curveball in there for a strike. 74 on that curveball from Escanio. With that win last night, Kansas City has now won the first game in 10 of its 15 series here this season. Next pitch to Blackwood, big swing and a miss. So Blackwood, who is second on the team in home runs, leads the club in RBIs, down on the count 0-2 now to Escanio. And on the right side of the plate, Escanio kicks and delivers, and the 2-strike pitch curveball at 72 is swung on and missed. So Jake Blackwood will be the first out of the night here for Kansas City. First strikeout for Escanio. And it brings up the DH, Anthony Gallus. Starlin Rodriguez led things off for Kansas City with a double off the wall right next to the Sioux City bullpen. Tyler Massey then walked. Jake Blackwood struck out, and Gallus goes after the first pitch and launches it into right field. This should move Rodriguez up to third, and it will as it's caught by Enriquez. But 2 outs in the inning now for Jimmy Mojica. Mojica batting .500. As we mentioned, last night game number 4 for Jimmy with Kansas City this time around. He played in all 3 games of the St. Paul series last weekend. Did not make the trip to Sioux Falls, and they went 1 for 4 last night. Needs to get on for Rodriguez to score. Rodriguez at third. Tyler Massey at first. Two away, bottom of the first, no score. 1-0 count to Mojica. Now an easy throw to first by Ascanio. Ascanio gets the one he wants. Massey takes off. The pitch is inside, and Tyler Massey will give Kansas City two runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Two and out to Mojica. Rodriguez at third. Now Massey at second. Ascanio taking a lot of time as this pitch is fouled back. One thing we saw last night out of David Holman, we saw it, I think, a little bit in the rained, suspended game against St. Paul last weekend, was Holman worked very quickly last night, which is not something the Sioux City hitters like. Ryan Zimmerman for Sioux City last night, working fairly fast as this pitch is in the dirt, blocked by Coach. The game still took 3 hours and 1 minute last night. But after seeing Messer work very quickly in the top half of this inning, we're seeing Ascanio really taking his time, really slow and deliberate. Runners at second and third. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a called strike. Mojica taking about 2 steps toward first before Matt Herrera's strike call brought him back to home plate. One interesting thing about Ascanio, and I've noticed this a couple times when Rodriguez got his double and now with nobody at first, Ascanio gives a look to first as he goes into a stretch. Here's the payoff pitch. It's fouled back and out of play. It's not as intimidating as a Wade Davis, for instance. But it's almost odd looking just seeing him. He leans forward, gives a quick look over to first as you would if a runner's at first and you want to make sure he's not taking off, not getting a big lead. But Ascanio, as he goes into that set position, looks over at first. There's nobody there. Here's the 3-2 pitch, fouled toward the Sioux City dugout. But whenever Wade Davis returns for Kansas City, for the Royals from the DL, just watch him sometime. And you'll at least get an idea of what Ascanio's doing here. Ascanio with a long look into Coach. A long enough look that Mojica steps out for a moment, now digs back in on the right side of the plate. 3-2, 2 outs, no score. Bottom of the first. Kansas City, though, with a base hit, will take a 2-0 lead. Once again, the payoff pitch to Mojica. It's high and inside, so the bags will be full. Here for the hottest hitter in the American Association, Brett Wiley. So 2 walks here in the inning, given up by Ascanio. And with the bases loaded, it brings up Brett Wiley. Wiley with 2 hits last night. Also walked, went 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. In his last 7 games, Brett Wiley is hitting a league-leading .600. As part of those 7 games, he has an 8-game hitting streak. So if there's a guy, as the first pitch is in there for a strike, if there is a player in this lineup you want up in this situation, 2 outs, bases loaded, it is Brett Wiley. He has an 8-game hitting streak, and he's had 7 multi-hit games out of those 8. And on the left side of the plate, Ascanio kicks and delivers, and this one's way outside. So Brett Wiley batting .314, 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. The bag's full of T-bones. The kick and the 1-1 pitch on the ground into left field. Massey's going to round third. He will head home. Here comes a throw at the plate. Not in time as Wiley will go towards second. He slides in safely. And Kansas City will get on the board first, 2-0 on the base hit by Brett Wiley, who now has a 9-game hitting streak. But more importantly, he has given Kansas City a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first as Starlin Rodriguez comes in easily. And Tyler Massey, for the most part, comes in easily. And Jimmy Mojica ends up at third base. So 2 RBIs now for Brett Wiley. Gives him 24 on the season. He is second in that category behind Blackwood's 37. Wiley went to second on the throw, so it's second and third for Kansas City. For Dalton Wheat, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. T-Bone's now leading it 2-0. First pitch to Wheat, curveball in there for a strike. Ascanio has gone to that curveball with at least 3 batters on the first pitch. He did it to Blackwood. Did it to Massey, and now he's done it with Wheat. Here's the next pitch, another off-speed pitch. This one's outside. So it's 1-1 to Wheat, who's batting .362, no home runs, 14 driven in. An open stance on the left side of the plate. The 1-1 pitch paints the black on the outside corner for a called strike. Dalton Wheat went 1 for 3 last night with a run scored. As this curveball is fought off by Wheat. Wiley with decent speed at second base, so a base hit. Very likely could score 2 more for Kansas City. T-Bone's leading at 2-0 as Starlin Rodriguez led off this inning with a double. Tyler Massey walked, and then with 2 outs, we got a walk to Jimmy Mojica before Brett Wiley's 2-run single to left center. Ascanio, the right-hander, comes set at the belt. The 1-2 pitch is fouled back as Wheat, in his work gloves, loses the handle on the bat. And I have never seen manager John Mazzarelli move as quickly as he did as that bat came flying toward the dugout. Hit the netting right in front of Maz. So Wade goes over and gets a little pine tar and retrieves his bat. Here's a couple of words from a couple of his teammates and pitching coach Bill Sobey. Now digs back in on the left side of the plate. Second and third for Kansas City. 1-2 the count to Wheat. 2 outs, 2-0. Kansas City on top. Here's the 1-2 once again, and this is outside. So the count's even up 2-2 now to Wheat. Wheat, the 7th batter in the inning for Kansas City. Escanio, with nobody on first, gives a quick look over there as he gets into his stretch. The kick and the pitch, it's outside. So it's 3-2 now to Wheat. Escanio has given up a double to Rodriguez, a single to Wiley, and a couple of walks here in this inning. It's now a 3-2 count to Wiley, or to Wheat rather. Wiley gets his lead at second. The kick and the pitch, big swing and a miss. So Wheat will go down on strikes. It'll be the second strikeout for Escanio, and the third out here in the first inning, but not before Kansas City will get on the board with 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, and the T-Bones leave 2 on base. We've played 1. We head to the second. Kansas City on top, 2-0. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
T-Bones leading at 2-0 as we go to the top half of the second inning. Here from Community America Ballpark, it's going to be Mendoza, Enriquez, and Caldwell to face Jared Messer. Messer wheels and deals the first pitch to Mendoza. It's low and away. So Kansas City striking first here tonight. As the next one misses to Mendoza. T-Bones 16-7 on the season when they score first. Mendoza in on the left side of the plate. The windup and the 2-ball pitch. Just a little bit outside. So Messer will walk his first batter as he delivers the 4th pitch and the 4th ball. So the first walk of the night for Jared Messer, leading off the second inning, and brings up Ralph Enriquez. Enriquez, the only hitter for Sioux City with more than 1 hit last night. He had 2. First pitch in there for a strike. Enriquez batting .231, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs as this one misses upstairs. Mendoza, the runner at first base, has yet to attempt a steal this season. Next pitch high and away. So 7 pitches this inning for Jared Messer. 6 balls, 1 strike. As this one's on the ground, just past a diving Brett Wiley into right field. Mendoza will stop at second base. And Enriquez, who had 2 hits last night, will get his first hit here tonight in the second hit of the game for Sioux City. So it brings up the left fielder, Tim Caldwell. So right after the T-Bones take a 2-0 lead. And I talk about the pace at which Messer had been working in the first inning. He has now slowed down a little bit, and we have runners at first and second with nobody out. First pitch to Caldwell. He shows bunt, but pulls it back as the pitch is down low. Messer with a long look into his catcher Erie. Comes set. The kick and the pitch is in there for a strike. Caldwell again showing bunt. Did not pull it back, but according to Matt Herrera, it's a strike nonetheless. Next pitch. This one is dropped down, but picked up in foul territory by Brian Airy. So 1-2 to Tim Caldwell. Caldwell went 1 for 3 last night. He was the number 2 hitter last night. As manager Steve Montgomery has moved his lineup around a little bit tonight. Caldwell goes from the number 2 hole down to number 7. Here's the 1-2 pitch, just a little bit outside. T-Bones leading at 2-0. We're in the top of the second. The kick in the next pitch to Caldwell is fouled off the shin guard of umpire Matt Herrera. Defensively tonight for the T-Bones in the left field, it's Starlin Rodriguez. Tyler Massey's in center. Dalton Wheat in right. The infield from third to first, Mojica, Frias, Wiley, and Blackwood. Messer with a look at second, comes to the plate with a 2-2 pitch, and it misses low and in. So 1+ innings, and Jared Messer is at 32 pitches. Next offering is lifted into left field. Rodriguez drifts over, camps under, and pulls it down for out number 1. Mendoza holds up at second base. Enriquez at first. Brings up the catcher, Matt Coach. Coach, a .220 hitter, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs. Matt Coach with 1 hit last night. First pitch from Messer is low and away. The Explorers with 8 hits last night. Only 2 batters as this one is on the inside part of the plate for a strike. Sampson and Matty Johnson were the only 2 without a hit last night. for the Explorers. Here's the 1-1 to Coach. Line drive toward right center. It's going to drop in front of Dalton Weed, who comes up firing on it. It'll be cut off, though, by Blackwood as Mendoza, again, not with incredible speed. He will stop at third base. So the bag's full with one out here in the second inning. Brings up the number 9 hitter, Slattery. Goes after the first pitch, pops it up right side. Blackwood in foul territory, right behind the tarp. He drops it. As he was drifting over, it looked like Jake might have lost it a little bit in the sun. And that happens from time to time. The only problem for Blackwood is that his sunglasses are on top of his cap. We'll see how this turns out, though, because it may not, as this pitch misses somewhere to Slattery. Mendoza took off at the time Blackwood would have caught the ball. He was ready to tag up from third. This one's tapped up the middle. Frias' only play is going to be to first base, and the result not quite the same as it would have been had Blackwood caught it. There is one out made on the play. A 6-3 put out of Slattery. Just did not strike it hard enough for Frias to try to turn two. Now, if Blackwood makes that play behind the tarp, and Mendoza may or may not have scored, as Derek Robinson's the batter now. The first pitch to Robinson is in for a strike. Next pitch is a little bit inside, but if Blackwood makes that play, and Mendoza ends up scoring, let's say, or at least makes an attempt to score, the Explorers would still have runners at first and second. As it turns out, with the ground out by Slattery, they score a run, and they have runners at second and third. As this one's fouled back by Robinson, and the count goes to 1-2. So it's a 2-1 ball game here in the second inning. On the RBI ground out by Slattery. Next pitch fouled back as Robinson just fought that one off from Messer. Enriquez at third base. Coach is at second. The next pitch, same spot. Out of play down the left field side. This one's tapped right up the middle, under Messer's glove, into center field. It's going to score at least one. Massey's throw will not be cut off, but it's going to be up the line. So Sioux City will take a 3-2 lead in the walk leading off the inning. And now 3 base hits will give Sioux City a 3-2 lead here in the top of the second. Derek Robinson had a big 2-run hit last night that at the time tied the game at 2-2. That happened in the 5th inning. As this one's on the ground to Wiley, he will flip to Frias, covering second for the final out as they will force Robinson for out number 3. But not before. Sioux City will get on the board and take the lead in the 2nd inning. They get 3 runs. They do it on 3 hits. There were no errors. And Sioux City will leave 1 on. We head to the bottom of the 2nd. 3-2 Explorers. Back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Well, we go back here to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Along with our producer engineer Charlie Boy, I'm Matt Folks here from Community America Ballpark. As it's going to be the 8-9-1 hitters for Kansas City, Frias, Erie, and Rodriguez. Kansas City took a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning, only to see that vanish as Jared Messer gave up 3 hits in the 2nd inning, walked the leadoff batter. And will help Sioux City take a 3-2 lead as the first pitch in there for a strike to Frias. Only 3 batters for Kansas City last night did not get a hit. Only 2 did not get on base. Frias was one of them who did not get on base as he chops this one towards second. Cunningham up with it over to first in time for out number 1. Frias did have a sacrifice fly in that game that put Kansas City on the board in the 2nd inning. But he did go hitless 0 for 3. Anthony Gallus went hitless 0 for 4. Jake Blackwood did not get a hit, but he got on base twice. So Brian Erie, one of 3 players with a couple hits last night, digs in now for Kansas City with 1 out here in the 2nd. As the first pitch is in there for a strike. Three to 2, Explorers leading it. A 1-strike pitch is a curveball at 71 for a called strike. So Escanio ahead in the count now. No balls, 2 strikes. The windup and the pitch is in the dirt, blocked by Coach. Here's the 1-2, lifted Down the right field side, but hooking toward the kids' play area. Three to two, Sioux City on top, bottom of the second. Here's the windup and the 1-2 to Erie. Line toward left. It's going to drop in for a hit in front of Caldwell. So Brian Erie, who's seeing his batting average creep up a little bit, will get a one-out single here in the second. Brings up the left fielder, Starlin Rodriguez. Rodriguez got things going for Kansas City an inning ago, just inches away from getting his third home run of the year. As it turned out, he got a double and eventually came in on the two-run single as he ropes this one, but into the GA seats down in left field. But he ended up scoring on the two-run single by Brett Wiley. Throw over to first from Enscanio, and I guess he's been looking over at first so many times that even when nobody was there, that he figured he needed to throw over there this time. Erie with his lead, the kick and the pitch is roped to almost the same spot, and a young fan is beside himself. He had his glove, probably 8, 9, 10 years old. Had his glove, jumped up, mistimed it, missed the ball. It scooted off down to another fan. Now he pats his glove a couple times, scoots to the front of his seat. As another throw goes over to first, Erie back safely. I mentioned Mendoza had not attempted a steal. Brian Erie has not attempted one either. Here's the two-strike pitch, just lifted into left field. At the warning track, Caldwell makes the play for out number 2. Just a very easy swing. There's really no wind to speak of tonight. But Rodriguez just kind of reached out, and that ball got up and just kept going. But it was up in plenty of time for Caldwell to make the play for out number 2. Brian Erie still at first base, and it brings up the center fielder, Tyler Massey. Massey walked his first time up, came in to score the other run on that Brett Wiley two-run single. Massey batting .227 in his last 5 games as he fouls this one back and out of play. Hitting .293 on the season. And on the left side of the plate, another throw over to first. This might be the most attention Brian Erie has received. He kind of looks back at Frank White, and you can tell both of them are kind of laughing. This is probably the most attention he's received from a pitcher who's not one of his own. The kick and the pitch is at the knees for a call strike to Massey. So Tyler Massey behind in the count 0-2. Sioux City leading it 3-2. We're in the bottom of the second. The kick and the pitch is fouled back and just over our heads. Longtime Kansas City sports personality Neil Jones is here tonight. Throw out a first pitch, and we'll be hearing him lead Take Me Out to the Ball Game later on tonight. That should happen around 11:30 or so with the pace of this game thus far. We're almost an hour in, and we're almost through the second inning. The next pitch is low and away. So I must have jinxed it when I talked about the way Messer was working. Escanio, this is Christmas in July here tonight at the ballpark. Escanio is as slow as Christmas in the way he's working tonight. He's made 4 throws over to first base with Brian Erie on, as this one misses low and inside. Escanio at 46 pitches here at 1 2/3 of an inning. Not exactly an efficient night for him yet. As this one misses outside, the runner takes off, and Erie will slide in safely with his first stolen base of the year. Looking over at Frank White. Frank just kind of shrugged his shoulders and held his hands out as if to say, you know what? If they're going to pay you this much attention, you might as well take advantage of it. So Brian Erie with his first stolen base attempt, his first stolen base here in 2016. And the count is now full to Tyler Massey. The kick and the payoff pitch. Big swing and a miss. So Massey will go down on strikes. It'll be the third strikeout of the night for Escanio. And the third out here in the second inning. So Kansas City gets a runner aboard. But that runner, Brian Erie, after getting his first stolen base of the year, will be stranded at second base. So here in the inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. And 1 left on. 2 are in the books. We head to the third. Kansas City trailing 3-2. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
3-2, Sioux City leading it as we go to the third inning. Nate Sampson, Jared Cunningham, Tommy Mendoza will be here to face Jared Messer. Messer faced 1 over the minimum in the first inning, giving up a single to Nate Sampson with 2 outs in the first before Jared Cunningham grounded into a fielder's choice. They forced Sampson out at second, ending the inning. But in the last innings, Sioux City sent 7 to the plate. Say that 5 times real fast. Sioux City sent 7 to the plate in the second. In the second, Sioux City sent 7 to the plate. As this pitch misses to Sampson. Sampson fouls this one back. It's now 2-1. Our executive producer engineer is saying Sioux City sent 7 to the plate in the second. Sampson lifts this one to left center. Massey will drift over and make the play in front of Rodriguez for out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down here in the third. Brings up the second baseman, Jared Cunningham. First pitch to Cunningham misses. This one's right down the chute for a called strike. These two teams back at it tomorrow night, 7:05, as Cunningham swings and misses. There'll be post-game fireworks presented by Community America Credit Union. You can get your tickets now at tbonesbaseball.com. Print them from home, bring them in tomorrow, and see the finale of this 3-game series, the finale of this 3-game homestand. The last time you get a chance to see Kansas City in person for about 11 days. T-Bone's off Sunday in the beginning 10-game road trip at Laredo on Monday. Next pitch misses to Cunningham. It's 2-2. The windup and the 2-2 pitch is low and away. So it's full now to Cunningham, a .269 hitter. And on the right side of the plate is the payoff pitch is skied but foul down the left field side. It almost hit the first student school bus. This one is not going to come close to the school bus, as Cunningham will go down on strike, swings and misses at the 3-2 pitch. And Jared Messer will have his first strikeout of the game. So 2 outs here in the third, and brings up Tommy Mendonça. Mendonça walked leading off the second inning, eventually came in and scored on the ground out by Brendan Slattery. First pitch is upstairs to Mendonça. This one's on the ground, foul. And the count's 1-1. Messer wheels and deals the 1-1 pitch, and it's outside. There's a big swing and a miss. And the count's even up 2-2. As Mendonça gets into this one, and it's gone. Tommy Mendonça with his 5th home run of the year as he goes halfway up the berm in right field. So it's a 4-2 game now, as Mendoza gets a 2-out solo homer in the third. Brings up Ralph Enriquez now. Enriquez singled and scored last inning. This one's in there for a strike. Here's the 1-1. Line but foul. Down toward the Micro League Brew area. Messer shakes Erie off. Now gets the one he wants. Here's the 1-2 off speed pitch. It's fouled off the screen. And the count remains 1-2. Here's the windup and the 2-2. Line toward left center. Rodriguez charges over and makes the play for out number 3. But not before Sioux City adds to its lead here in the third inning. They get 1 run on 1 hit, the big solo homer by Tommy Mendoza. No errors and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the third, 4-2 in favor of Sioux City. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Kansas City trailing at 4-2 as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Jake Blackwood, Anthony Gallus, Jimmy Mojica here for Kansas City facing Brian Escanio. Escanio looks shaky in the first inning, facing 7 batters, giving up a couple runs, walking 2 in the inning, giving up a couple hits, but then faced 1 over the minimum in the second. And now has a 2-run lead going into the third after Tommy Mendoza's home run in the top of this inning. So Jake Blackwood will start things off for Kansas City. Batting .266. He struck out swinging his first time up. First offering misses low and away. The 1-ball pitch is fouled back and out of play. I mentioned earlier in the first inning when Kansas City scored that the T-Bones are 16-7 when scoring first. They are 11-10 when scoring last. But I guess they will need to score last if they want any hopes of winning this one tonight. As this pitch way inside. And the count goes to 2-1 to Blackwood. T-Bones did not trail last night as they won it 4-3. Took a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the fourth inning, as this curveball floats in there for a strike. Sioux City tied the game in the top of the fifth at 2-2, but Kansas City came right back, scored a run in the bottom of the fifth, added another one in the bottom of the eighth. As Blackwood gets another curveball and pops this one up right around second base. The second baseman, Cunningham, camps under and pulls it down for out number one. So one out here in the third inning. It brings up the DH, Anthony Gallus. Gallus flied out to Enriquez in right field, his first time up. Goes after the first pitch, pops it up, and it's going to go over our heads. And the count will be 0-1. Gallus hitting .222 on the year. As this curveball, he's way out in front and is behind the count 0-2. Ascanio has been showing this curveball since the first inning. It has now become very effective for him against Blackwood and now Gallus. It is not a mid-60s fall off the table Josh Tolles type of curveball, as this curveball stays way inside to Gallus. But it is a slow mid-70s type curveball that has really disrupted Kansas City's timing. The windup in the next pitch to Gallus is high and inside. A fastball at 88 from Ascanio. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Explorers. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Kansas City. 1 away, bottom of the third inning. Ascanio wheels and deals the payoff pitch, and it's fouled back and out of play. Crowd picking up a little bit here tonight on a gorgeous summer night in Kansas City. The windup and the 3-2 pitch is in the dirt. So Anthony Gallus gets a one-out walk here in the third. That's the third walk given up by Ascanio, and it brings up Jimmy Mojica. Mojica was the second walk of the game back in the first inning with 2 outs. Sioux City in their red jerseys tonight with gray pants. T-Bones in their white uniforms, trimmed in gold and oxblood. As a throw over to first, diving back safely is Gallus. Mojica, wide open stance, right side of the plate. First pitch high and inside from Ascanio. Mojica was stranded at third base back in the first inning. Ascanio with a quick throw over to first. Gallus dives back safely. Brian Erie with his first stolen base of the year. His first attempt of the season. That came last inning. Gallus leaning that way, but he does not go as this pitch is way inside to Mojica. Gallus is 1 for 1 in stolen bases this year. But again, Ascanio just doing all sorts of fiddling around and taking a lot of time on the hill tonight. Finally comes set. Here's the 2-ball pitch. It's fouled back to the screen. You know, Frank White has a stopwatch down at first base. They time a pitcher's delivery, usually in seconds, as this one's fouled back. If they were to time it after every pitch, it's probably a good 90 seconds to 2 minutes before Ascanio throws another one. Our executive producer engineer, Charlie Boyd, disagrees. 2-2 the count to Mojica. Ascanio comes set. The kick and the pitch. Gallus is going. The ball is blooped over the head of the shortstop for a one-out single by Jimmy Mojica. If Sampson makes that play, it would be an easy double play ending the inning. And he was just inches away from making that catch. In fact, it wasn't a height issue. The ball was actually behind him as he made the jump. His momentum was carrying him to essentially toward the left field side, and the ball went behind him more towards center. So a base hit for Jimmy Mojica gives Kansas City runners at first and second now with one away for Brett Wiley. I said it last time, I'll say it again, that at this moment in time, if I could have one hitter at the plate for Kansas City with a runner in scoring position, it's this guy right here, Brett Wiley. Now batting .319 on the year. As the first pitch misses down low. And Wiley came through in the first inning with a 2-run single that scored Rodriguez and Massey. He has Gallus at second and Mojica at first this time around. Here's the 1-ball pitch, and this one's lined into center field. This is going to be extra bases. This will score 2 runs for Kansas City as Wiley's on his horse for round second, and he will head into third safely with a 1-out bases-clearing triple that gives Kansas City new life in a 4-4 game now here in the bottom of the third inning. So Brett Wiley with 2 at-bats, 2 hits, 4 RBIs, and we're now a tie ball game at 4-4 as Anthony Gallus scores from second base. And Jimmy Mojica comes in from first. So a 2 RBI triple for Brett Wiley. And it brings up Dalton Wheat. First pitch misses to Wheat. You know, we talk about our picks to click from time to time when Nate and I are here together. The mind sometimes doesn't tell the mouth what to say, as this curveball misses outside. But we talk from time to time about our pick to click. If you have the first pick at this moment and you don't pick Wiley, you're kind of crazy. That would be the move somebody in last place would make. Incidentally, I did not have the first pick. I could not have picked Wiley as this pitch is swung on and missed by Wheat, although I am in last place, I will admit. Dalton Wheat struck out his last time up. right after the 2-run single by Wiley. Wheat might be the second or third guy I would want at the plate in this situation, as he's fooled on the curveball, and he helps Ascanio even up the count at 2-2. And here we go again. Ascanio, nobody on first, but as he goes into a stretch, we'll give a look over at first base. The only runner on base is Brett Wiley at third. Ascanio comes set. The 2-2 to Wheat. He reaches out, lifts it toward left field, and it's going to be caught. Wiley will not be able to tag up as the ball was pretty shallow in left field. A strong throw by Caldwell, and good thing Wiley decided to hold up at third. So 2 outs in the inning now for Vladimir Frias. Vladdy struggling as we'll get a trip to the mound by pitching coach Bobby Post. But Vladdy is struggling more than any other hitter in this Kansas City lineup. In his last 5 games, Vladimir Frias is batting .056. He has 1 hit in 18 at-bats. In his last 10 games, Vladdy has 4 hits in 35 at-bats for a .114 average. The only hitter who is below him is Tyson Gillies. And Gillies has only played in 5 games in the last 10 days. So here we go. Vladdy in on the left side of the plate against the righty Ascanio. And the first pitch misses low and inside. But I can think of no better way for Frias to get a little confidence boost than a base hit right here. Two outs, tie ball game, 4-4, bottom of the third. Wiley with his lead at third. They kick in the pitch. Curveball in there for a strike. But just to see a ball drop in for a hit right now for Vladdy. Could go a long way for him. Whether it's a sharply hit ball or just a little dink. Little bloop, little Texas leaguer. Line drive to the 409 mark and right center. Whatever it is this curveball way outside. On the season, Frias, who is now in the 8 hole where has not spent a lot of time this season. But he is now batting .212, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs. He's gone hitless in his last couple games. Here's the 2-1 pitch, fouled back and out of play. He went 0 for 3 last night, 0 for 4 in the finale in Sioux Falls. Diggs back in on the left side of the plate. Ascanio checks his ghost runner at first, now kicks and delivers, and the pitch is down low. And if I find Ascanio tomorrow, I really am tempted to ask him, just if it's a timing thing, if it's habit. But he looks over at first base every time he goes in the stretch. As this pitch Misses low and inside, so Frias will draw a 2-out walk. That's not bad for confidence either. That'll be the 4th walk by Ascanio. But a walk for a hitter who's struggling can either mean that he's starting to see the ball better, maybe recognizing some pitches better, or maybe he just really does not have a clue and walked out. Either way, Kansas City has runners at the corners now for Brian Airy. 4-4, bottom of the 3rd. They kick in the pitch. Frias takes off. No throw, a fake by Coach, but he'll hold on to it. So Frias will get his 10th stolen base of the year. That leads all Kansas City base runners. So Brian Airy with a chance to give Kansas City the lead again here in the bottom of the 3rd. He singled his first time up last inning. Lifts this one into shallow center field. Could be a tough play for Johnson. He dives, and they say he did not make the play, and Kansas City will take a 6-4 lead on the blue base hit by Brian Airy that brings in